where we go next? Let's go AFC East. Let's start with the most boring one. Who do you have for the New York Jets?
So for the Jets, I think I chose Ty Johnson.
Okay.
I know he's I think technically a back. I don't know if he's like I don't
Who
really know what
knows?
the Jets doing right now.
Yeah. Yeah, no one does.
I think he's technically this back. No, because
I
when
I
Kevin Coleman's hurt, right? Currently hurt, I think. And I think Ty Johnson was getting most of the snaps in the preseason, or at least like had more
yeah.
than the next guy, like one or two more than the next guy.
I don't know what the depth chart says, but he had the most snaps with the first team in the preseason.
Right.
So yeah.
So I think Ty Johnson could make a big difference for the Jets. They have historically, well, at least in the past five years, their running game has sucked.
Mm-hmm.
That's where Le'Veon Bell went to die.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just think Ty Johnson's good out of the backfield. I think he had more catches than he did carries, or it was close.
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
I just think Ty Johnson could be that dual threat. Give a little something to the offense because I don't know how much the offense actually really has.
Yeah. And in the same realm, I had a really hard time with this one. I just went with Elijah Moore because
Yeah.
I mean, they don't have that number one alpha kind of receiver. I think Jamison Crowder and Corey Davis are both like fine. Like they're both good receivers, but they're not number one guys. And if Elijah Moore can be that guy, which all the hype in training camp says he could be, I liked him a lot coming out of Ole Miss. And if he can be that guy, that makes things easier on Zach Wilson. And that's kind of the whole point of the season. They're gonna be bad, but like let's see something from Zach Wilson.
Yeah, it's hard with these teams where, like with the Browns, like we just said, for example, there's so much. It's easy
Yeah.
to be like, okay, let's have this guy, like
Yeah.
Harrison Bryant, like the second string, or even third string, whatever he is,
Mm-hmm.
tight end. But with teams like the Jets, it's just like you have to choose a starter because like
Yeah.
even the starters aren't that great. So like you
Yeah.
need to play well. Okay.
Yeah.
Who's next?
Who'd you have for the Patriots?
So the Patriots, I guess I kind of went a little mainstream. I chose Damian Harris.
I almost picked him.
You almost did?
Yeah, I didn't, but he was second.
I mean, from what he's shown, in training camp / preseason, I get Damian Harris could be on the path to a little bit of a breakout. And now that they cut Cam Newton, Mac Jones isn't running the damn ball. So we'll see what happens. I know the Patriots typically have like running back by committee type deal. But I mean, if the Patriots can have even like what is his name, like Garrett Blunt type running back again, not saying like a big bruiser, but someone who gets the ball consistently is like this is the guy, and then James White can spell him. I mean, are we talking Mac Jones rookie Super Bowl?
I'm really upset I don't have Damian Harris yet in fantasy. So tonight when we draft him, I'm gonna try really hard to get him.
First round.
Yeah, I think he like the way they talk about him in camp, it's like he's their best. He's probably like their most hyped running back since Blunt or yeah, I don't know, Kevin Falk back in the day. But so I went with Jalen Mills because I think the Patriots, like he was one of their quote unquote big signings in free agency. He kind of plays some corner and some safety, but I think at the beginning of the year, he's going to have to start out playing corner, especially with Stephon Gilmore out for 6 weeks, out opposite of JC Jackson. And like, I know JC Jackson's a stud, so we kind of know what he can do. But if Jalen Mills can play well, can they stick to their man heavy scheme that they like to play? If not, then I don't really know how good this defense can be, because that's kind of their identity is, they play man coverage more than, I mean, almost any defense in the NFL. But is that because Stephon Gilmore and Jason McCourty and JC Jackson have been so good in the past, or is it just kind of what they like to do? So I think his performance, I think he'll probably play outside a lot. And if he can play well, then, I mean, it's hard to lose Stephon Gilmore for 6 weeks, but like that kind of alleviates some of that. And I think their identity has to be, at least early on, run the ball, play good defense, see, a little bit of what Mac Jones can do, but don't make it too hard on him. So I think he's a big part in that.
Yeah, I feel you. I love that you just take care of the defense. I'm like, got the defense. I forgot. I didn't even think about Ramondre Stevenson. Some Ramondre Stevenson and
he's a dog.
Myers. Jacoby Myers could be
their number one. I almost picked him too. Yeah.
I didn't think about it until like I was thinking about some Patriots person I know. Shout out Dylan. commissioner of co-commish. Yeah, I think Ramondre Stevens might like get a nice little share this year. I don't know, maybe not.
He actually like plays like LeGarrette Blount. Like he's like 240, just like
Yeah,
roughs people up.
which is kind of like worrisome if you really want to have Harrison in.
No, I still believe.
All right, who's next?
Let's go Bills next.
The Buffalo Bills. This is another one that the Bills obviously are expected to be in the playoffs. When I looked at their depth chart, I was just like, the Bills aren't that like on paper. The Bills aren't that good. I don't think, but I mean, we'll see.
Where like mostly on defense or what?
And offense, like after Stephon Diggs, like you have what Cole Beasley and Dawson Knox, like, and then the
Sanders.
running back situation is just like
Yeah, they're running
I don't
backs are
understand the
bad.
running back situation. Like Devin Singletary, I watched him a little bit in the preseason, looked pretty good, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, he was drafted in 2018. He was the same class as Baker. I mean, he hasn't done much. They drafted Zach Moss last year. They also have who's their
Matt Breida.
Matt Breida. Yeah, they brought him
Yeah.
in because they weren't sure. I almost picked Matt Breida, and I was like, that's kind of dumb. But so I mean, I with the Bills looking at it, I kind of just went. The X factor is Josh Allen, but since I couldn't pick him, I picked Stephon Diggs because like I think their entire offense kind of revolves around
Those two.
around
Yeah.
Stephon Diggs. I
Mhm.
mean, unless you want to choose every running back, like okay, we
Yeah.
need every running back to play well.
Yeah. I kind of went with the same realm, but I did go with Gabe Davis because I think, he had 7 touchdown catches last year and kind of like, like the same idea. Like their offense does revolve around Diggs and Allen. Can they get another guy in there? Like, because Cole Beasley will be, out of the league by week 8 because
Yeah, he'll be.
he won't shut up anyway. So if Gabe Davis can like build on that rookie year, like he was pretty good last year. It's just like a deep threat kind of guy opposite of Diggs. And I think that's part of the reason they were okay with letting John Brown go is because they did bring in Sanders, but like I think Gabe Davis provides more of that true deep threat that they don't really have. I mean, Diggs can kind of do that, but like that's not, he's more than just a deep threat. If Gabe Davis can be like that wide receiver too, that can, realistically, if he has 7 touchdowns again, that's pretty good. Like, I think he's one of their biggest X factors. And I had a hard time picking anyone on the defense. I was thinking about picking Greg Rousseau because they really need a pass rush, but I don't know. I've been picking defense a lot. I need to pick someone on offense.
I refuse to pick defense. Every once in a while, I'll pick a defense, like an entire defense or like a unit of the defense. But
Yeah,
all right, what we got next?
we got Miami.
Ooh. All right, for Miami, I'm starting to get into like the thick of like I'm not for everyone. I didn't choose like obvious players, but again, just like I just said for the Patriots, the Miami needs to be able to run the ball because Tua, who knows, right? And Miles Gaskins, I chose Miles Gaskins. 1, because I just like Miles Gaskins.
Love
And
him.
2, if Miami can't run the ball this year, I'm worried for Tua even if they can run the ball. And so I just think Tua needs the guy like Gaskin that because Tua likes to check the ball down. So Gaskin might be the leading receiver. I almost chose Jalen Waddle, but like I said, I just think the run game is a little more important. We need Gaskins. If he can stay healthy for the entire season, he could easily be 1,000-yard back. 1,000-yard,
Yeah. Oh,
8
yeah.
touchdown. He could have 10. He could be a 10 touchdown back just
Yeah.
with the way that offense works. It's just that's it. That's the point I'm trying to make. I was
Drops Mike.
Yeah. I'm leaving.
I went with same realm on offense, but I went with Jesse Davis, who's their starting right tackle, who has been kind of around Miami for a while. He's been very average. But I think a lot of people don't realize like they took Austin Jackson in the first round last year, but he's playing left tackle and Tua is left-handed. So right tackle is Jesse Davis. So he's his blind side protector. So I think their offensive line is pretty rough. Like just on paper, they cut Matt Skura, who is their starting center. They had Robert Hunt still, who was a promising rookie last year. Austin Jackson was okay, but like they don't really have a guy where you're like, wow, this guy's a good offensive lineman. Like across the board, it's just very mediocre. So I think as much as I think they're relying too much on Tua being able to get the ball out quickly and like make quick reads, which like that works if you're Drew Brees. Like your offensive line doesn't have to be. I mean, his offensive line the last couple of years was good, but in their prime, like the Saints didn't have that good of an offensive line. And that's who Tua is always compared to, which we don't know about that now. But yeah, I think just their offensive line as a whole needs to play better if they want to show some progression. Like they got the weapons on the outside. Miles Gaskin's a good receiver. Their defense should be pretty good. So I think the offensive line is a big question mark outside of Tua there.
All right, fair enough.